Welcome back to the channel. I'm Paul. In this video we've left Kalbarri and made our way north to Francois Peron National Park. On the way we stopped off at Shell Beach to see just that, a beach made of shells and not much sand. And also Eagle Bluff Lookout for the stunning view. Then it was into the Francois Peron National Park and to Big Lagoon campground, where we're challenged by the site that was allocated to us, but then find a very pleasant surprise. The next couple of days were rich in sand driving and stunning views at Skipjack Point and Cape Peron. So come along to discover this beautiful place with us. We're at Shell Beach. Unfortunately the GoPro's not working properly, so we're on the phone. It is a very nice day and we can confirm the water's very salty.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So unfortunately there's no showers, obviously, so we're very salty, but it's meant to keep the flies away. I don't know if it's doing a good job, is it?
It's very well. Let's go for a walk.
So the water is so clear, but there's nothing in it. I didn't see any fish. Lizzie said she saw a fish. I haven't seen a fish. Incredible. Look at all these shells. It's just so deep. Fragum cockle. And the water's salty because of evaporation. Eagle Bluff Lookout is about 30 kilometers drive from Shell Beach on the way to Denham. Stunning views, of course, but some say it's good for spotting marine life. We weren't so lucky, unfortunately. On the way to Francois Peron National Park, we called at Denham to resupply. That started with water. It's $1 per 20 litres, so for the 80 litres we needed $4. We can live with that. Then on to the nearby servo to top off the tanks. Note that while it's expensive, rural WA does not seem as bad as the big cities. $2.70 is better than over $3. Let's hope things improve in the Middle East. A trip to local IGA for some food, although our next big shopping is likely in Caravan, where there is cheaper food available. Denham is a lovely little town, and we'll be back here after Francois Peron National Park for some water activities. We're just about to drop the tyre pressures so that we can go into the Francois Peron National Park, or Frankie P, as I believe it's also called. Since I don't know the tyre pressures very well for the Caravan, I'm going to start to drop from about 50 to 30 to see how much they bag out. So we're going 22 on the front, 22 psi, 25 on the back of the car, and 30 on the van just now. We'll see how we go with that. I'm not so sure about the van pressures, that's why we're not going down immediately. So this is an interesting road because we've got corrugations underneath and soft stand on top, so we're getting bounced around quite a bit. So for the time being I'm driving. I hope Lizzie will want to drive a bit later. I'm dropping the tyre pressures a bit further. It's really soft, so I've gone to 20 at the front. I'll go 24 at the back here. It's still, and you still need some support for the Caravan, and we'll go 25 on the Caravan. Well, we've been gifted about the shittiest campsite in Big Lagoon. It's number 13 here, and I don't know if it comes out clearly, but we can't get the van up there and level it. It's just absolutely terrible. As you might have gathered, we were not very happy. Better than to continue the rant on the video, best to explain what we did end up doing, and that in the end we were not so unhappy. We did learn from the camp host that it's a recent national park's decision to allow caravans on these spots, which have been for tents in the past. Good morning. We're expecting a bit of a slow morning today. It's quite windy, so I thought I'd give you a walkthrough of our campsite. We're at Big Lagoon here. It's absolutely stunning. I love it. And this is site number 13. Well, site number 13. The lucky number, I think. It's a long site, and it's got a platform at the back there. So let's have a look. The difficulty here is the terrain, and we've had to dig out a space for the jockey so that we're flat and not on a slope. And we also had to dig out this side so that our wheels can be well, so that the van is going to be level. So that's probably about a 25 centimeter deep hole, and on the other side all that earth that's come out of the hole has been piled up here to get as flat as possible. So we don't have very much room down the side of the van to access our utilities, but too bad, we can live with that, because the best thing about this place is obviously that platform, a huge platform. We'll get to that in a minute. What we do have is an extremely uneven surface. So we've got a situation where one side of the van is really high and the other is a bit low because of the terrain there. I think you can see the terrain, and we're not the first ones to dig out. If you look along here, probably somebody with a smaller setup has been able to dig out and park alongside this brilliant platform. The platform is simply huge, and I think we really like this. Just have a look. So if you had a tent, you could probably just set up directly here. That's great, but we use this spot mainly to watch the sunset. In summary, initially I wasn't really that happy with this campsite because it was so difficult to get into and set ourselves up. But I must say, since we're set up and since we have that view, I mean, the view is absolutely stunning, and we've probably got the best view of the campsite because we're the highest up. And since we don't fish, we don't really need a campsite down by the water, so we're really quite happy here. So this is turning out to be much better than we initially thought it would be. Another dawn mission for us. We wanted to get to Skipjack Point early in the morning before the wind picked up. Most of our time in Francois Peron National Park was very windy, and waves and ripples make sea life hard to see. We had now learned our lesson about tire pressures, and we're now running 18 psi on the front and 20 psi on the back without the van attached. Good morning. We left early this morning from Big Lagoon and we drove up to Skipjack Point to have a look, see if we can see any wildlife in the water. Unfortunately not, but we got some nice scenery, so admire the pictures. We're at Cape Peron now, and it's simply stunning. The red colours just come out beautifully. I'm very impressed, and just when you thought WA's, yeah, it's good, I think we've seen the best bits, it gets better and better. Just before the next segment, YouTube tells us that many of you are watching us on a TV, and on a TV it's difficult to subscribe, like and comment, and so to make that easy for you, I'm providing you with a QR code here that you just have to scan with your phone. You'll be taken to our channel and you'll be able to do all that. After Cape Peron, we headed for 43 kilometers of sand tracks to the Peron homestead, known as the Peron Heritage Precinct. It's an old sheep station that was established in the late 1880s and was operational to the 1990s. It's also the home of the artesian baths, which are free to access. We're just at the Peron homestead having a quick look around. This is where the artesian baths are, so we'll go and look at them, but not sure we're going in yet, are we? The water temperature was over 40 degrees and we really didn't want to go in there. I also didn't film very much as there were people in the pool. The visit to the shearing sheds and the viewing of the wool production artifacts are certainly interesting for industrial archaeology buffs and historians, but to many this will just look like derelict farm gear. As we walk through these sheds and installations, we could not help thinking about the people who worked here and their difficult working conditions, the heat, the noise, the smell. A thought also for the sheep who had dry paddocks and bushland to graze and salty bore water to drink. We learned that the original shearing shed had been next to the pub in town, and that was not a good arrangement, as at each smoko and lunch, shearers would be distracted from work and not return. It was to the extent that if 12 shearers turned up in the morning, maybe only 3 or 4 would be there by the end of the working day. We'll end this video here. Thanks for watching, and we hope you've enjoyed the beauty of Francois Peron National Park as much as we have. Next week we'll have an aquatic focused video in the same area. We expect there'll be a few surprises there. Do please give us a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you'd like to keep in touch, and do please comment and ask questions. We respond to all. See you in the next one.